Home is the 22nd and last episode of the 5th season of the American series The Vampire Diaries and the series' 111th episode overall. Home was originally aired on May 15, 2014, on the CW. The episode was written by Caroline Dries and Brian Young and directed by Chris Grismer. Plot: the episode starts with Caroline crying over Stefan's dead body at the Hitmore dorm, while Damon and Elena arrive. Stefan watches them from the other side while he starts to be pulled from existence, as the other side continues to crumble. He tries to hold on and Lexi appears, saving him. Damon meets Bonnie and is furious when he learns that they lost the only traveler who could help them with a spell, and he tells her to find another way because his brother is on the other side, along with other people they all care about, such as Alaric, and her grandmother, Sheila. Enzo appears with a new plan, which requires a witch. Liv and Luke try to get as far away as they can to save themselves, however Elena appears in the middle of the road forcing Luke to stop the car, while Caroline stands behind the car. They get out and Elena informs them that Stefan is dead, and the spell has stopped, however they need their help to bring him back. Liv says that it is better that one of the doppelgangers is dead so they can all live, and Elena explains that if they bring Stefan back, they will kill the travelers. Liv still does not want to help, so Caroline snaps Luke's neck, sending him to the other side. Liv, not having any other choice, agrees to help them. In the meantime, Enzo takes Bonnie to meet the traveler who will teach them the spell, but he will only help if they will bring him back to life as two. Back in Mystic Falls, Liz helps to evacuate the town while Marcos is observing. He explains that he is not afraid of Damon or Stefan coming to save the town, simply because they cannot cross the line where the spell starts. To prove his point, he uses Julian, to show her what will happen to any supernatural creature if they try to enter the town. They push Julian into the spell's limits and he first loses his werewolf nature, then the vampire one and returns to the last state he was as human, dead. Tyler's spirit appears to Bonnie and passes through her to the other side, not before she tells him that they can bring him back. Damon explains that for his plan to bring everybody's loved ones back, they will have to kill many travelers so they can pass through Bonnie and their friends can pass through her to come back, like Marcos did. Liz will have to gather all the travelers at one place. Matt and Jeremy will cause a gas leak, head out of the town and then somehow they will explode the place where the travelers are gathered. At the same time, Liv will start the resurrection spell. Jeremy worries about what will happen to Bonnie when everything is in motion, but Bonnie reassures him that everything will be fine. In the meantime, Stefan and Lexi go to the grill and catch up on news. She points out to him about Caroline and how she feels about him, but Stefan insists they are friends. Liz and Marcos walk into the grill and hear them talking. Stefan realizes that Liz is trying to gather the travelers in one place and figures out that his friends are planning something. Damon tells Elena the last part of the plan where someone is to trigger the explosion and that it will be him. Elena tries to talk him out of it because it is a suicide mission, but Damon asks her to respect his choice and promises that he will be back with the others from the other side. Jeremy and Matt navigate the caves under the city, trying to find the gas line. Liz successfully gathered the travelers at the grill and tries to find a way to leave before Marcos figures out that something is going on. Marcos suspects something, so Liz stays for a drink to convince him nothing is happening. Matt and Jeremy find the gas line, break it to cause the leak and they leave. Bonnie waits for Grams so she can tell her to come back with the others. Grams appears to tell her that she does not want to go back because she found her peace knowing that she helped Bonnie to find hers and that she is not the only one to know how to sacrifice herself for others. The two of them say goodbye and Grams leaves. At 7 p.m., Liv starts chanting the spell while her brother watches from the other side, encouraging her. Liz is still at the grill with Marcos, who does not let her go. Knowing that she has to leave so the plan can be completed, she pretends to smell gas and she leads Marcos to the storage room to investigate. When he turns his back to her to check where the leak comes from, she hits him and messages Damon to start. Marcos gets up and stops her before she leaves. Damon is right outside the city limits where the spell starts when he receives Liz's text. He gets into the car to drive to the city, when Elena joins him and tells him that she will go with him. Damon tries to talk her out of it, but Elena has made her choice and she asks him to respect it as she respected his. They take off and they manage to crash into the grill while they are still vampires and the building explodes. Dozens of travelers approach Bonnie to pass through her to the other side, including Marcos. Elena and Damon find Bonnie, who tells them to pass through her to the other side, find their bodies and come back as fast as they can. Elena finds her body, in addition to Alaric, who warns her to rush back to Bonnie because her brother needs her, and he will find Damon. Damon tries to help a trapped Liz at the grill, where Alaric finds him and helps. The others start to gather next to Bonnie ready to get out of the other side. Meanwhile, Liv keeps chanting and Luke notices that the spell is too much for her and is hurting her. He rushes to Bonnie where everyone is gathered and tells her that they have to do it now because Liv is in danger. Stefan says that not everyone is still there but Luke touches Bonnie and passes through. He runs to Liv and asks her to stop the spell but she says that she promised to help them, so she continues. Enzo does not want to wait any longer, so he also touches Bonnie to come back to life, and Tyler follows him. He sees Caroline waiting and he hugs her but he notices he feels different. He cuts himself and he realizes that he is not healing, meaning that he is no longer a hybrid. Bonnie tries to convince Lexi and Stefan to pass before it is too late but they want to wait for Damon, Elena and Alaric. Elena arrives but she does not want to go without Damon so Bonnie touches her forcing her through. Bonnie cannot hold on for long and she falls, with Stefan catching her. And he passes through. Bonnie tells Lexi to pass too, but she refuses, seeing that Bonnie gets weaker with every passing soul. She says that she prefers to wait so her best friend gets his brother back before she passes. Marcos shows up and tries to pass through Bonnie but Lexi holds him back long enough for the Oblivion to suck him away, thus helping herself find peace. Damon and Alaric arrive and Alaric goes through first. Damon asks where Elena is and Bonnie assures him she is safe. At the same time, Luke cannot let his sister die and he chants a spell making her stop. Damon tries to pass through Bonnie after the spell has stopped so it no longer works, leaving him trapped in the other side. Elena tries desperately to find Liv so she can start the spell again, but Bonnie tells her that it is too late and Elena collapses. Damon is watching and Bonnie leaves them alone to say their goodbyes. Bonnie calls Jeremy to tell him that there was never a way for her to come back and to also say goodbye. Jeremy runs to find her while Alaric finds Elena crying over Damon and hugs her. They hear Jeremy screaming for Bonnie and they try to get to him. Stefan sits with Caroline and is devastated after losing both Lexi and Damon. He knows Lexi must be the reason Marcos did not make it back and says that Damon is gone now that he had everything and was happy. Caroline stays with him to comfort him. The episode ends with Bonnie and Damon holding hands waiting for the Oblivion to suck them. Feature music. In the episode Home we can hear the songs, Wings by Birdie, Be Alright by Lucy Rose, Finished Sympathy by Glas Vegas, Buried Alive by Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Love Is Just a Way to Die by I Am Strikes, Walking by Ash Grunwald, No Rest for the Wicked by Light Lee. Reception. Ratings equals, in its original American broadcast, Home was watched by 1.61 million. Up by 0.11 from the previous episode. Reviews equals, Home received positive reviews. Carrie Ranisola from the AV Club gave the episode an A rating comparing the death of Stefan in the previous episode to Damon's in this one. The strange thing about the difference between the two is that although Stefan unregistered trademark S death was obviously impermanent, emotionally at the time it felt a lot more final than Damon deaths here. The way that Stefan died so suddenly, so forcefully, so without one last goodbye felt oddly more final than the little death tour Damon gets to do here. Rebecca Searle of Vulture rated the episode with 5/5 saying that the season finales of The Vampire Diaries never disappoint. The season finales of this show never disappoint. They are always intense, irrevocable, and devastating. But there is also something so unifying about them. I know we throw a lot of shade at this show. Unregistered trademark S ridiculous sometimes, and we like to laugh. but the community The Vampire Diaries has created is extraordinary. Josie Kafka from Do Reviews rated the episode with 4/4, saying that the fictional streaming TV show wow thing from MT Andersoni unregistered trademark S dystopian YA novel feed sums up her reaction to the finale. But ETA unregistered trademark S not just about how this episode ended. Getting there was more than half the fun. There were many excellent conversations, especially Damon unregistered trademark S speech to Elena that she couldn't unregistered trademark T here. Damon risking a half-sacrifice was impressive, but I was most touched by his willingness to stick around to help Sheriff Forbes, who has always been a friend to him. Matt Richenthal of TV Fanatic rated the episode with 4.6/5, focusing his review on Damon's death. A truly shocking and emotional hour of television, The Vampire Diaries Season 5 concluded with an absolute stunner. A heartbreaking loss. A goodbye for which viewers were not prepared. Richenthal states that he is not buying Damon's death, but he writes, "Killing off Damon may be exactly what The Vampire Diaries needs. It certainly has fans talking now. It will have them tuning in this fall. It's silly to get angry at a show for axing a character you liked. That person is fictional, he or she is there to serve a story, and it may be in the best interests of that story for the person to die. But it is not silly to get angry at a show for playing with your emotions. For constantly faking you out when it comes to death, something TVD has been guilty over for a while now. Death has to mean something." Ashley Dominique from Geeked Out Nation gave the episode a B+ rating. The season finale of The Vampire Diaries introduced conflicts that were too quickly resolved, but delivered on the emotional aspects as they dealt with the dissolution of the other side in Home. Stephanie Hall of K-Site TV gave a good review to the episode, saying that the season was enjoyable, highly unpredictable, mind-blowing, heartfelt and heart-wrenching. For the episode specifically, Hall stated, "Starting no less intense than last week a unregistered trademark S episode ended, Home was a gripping hour of television, fittingly capping off the season, while still ensuring that we unregistered trademark D have plenty to ponder over the summer hiatus." The episode itself, along with what it set up, made me more excited about the series' unregistered trademark potential than any other episode this season has. Part of what makes this episode shine is that after being one step behind the big bads all season, Home turned the tables and put the protagonists on the offense. The Dude 35 from Bitch Stole My Remote gave a good review to the episode, saying that the season ended with a bang. "One thing I cannot deny about The Vampire Diaries, boy do they know how to do a season finale cliffhanger." He also comments on the goodbye scene between Elena and Damon, praising it. "Well, that is quite the goodbye that Damon and Elena have. Unregistered trademark LL give her one thing, Elena is a master at crying. And Damon is a master at the moving, we profess my love even though she can't unregistered trademark T hear me type of speeches." Lindsay Sperling of We Got This Covered gave a good review to the episode, stating that the show put its money where its mouth on, referring to the death of all its three main characters in the last two episodes. Sperling also comments on the triangle between them. "One of the main reasons that the Elena-Stefan love triangle is equally frustrating and satisfying is that these three characters can't unregistered trademark T let go of each other. It does an unregistered trademark T seem to matter where the plot has taken them or who Elena is in love with at the moment. There is an underlying bond that refuses to be broken, and it was thrown in their faces on Toned unregistered trademark S episode of The Vampire Diaries." Jen from TV Overmind also gave a good review, saying, "Long-time fans are no strangers to jaw-dropping season finales on The Vampire Diaries, but I think you can all agree that this one is the most memorable so far. The conflicting emotions alone are enough to torture us until it returns in the fall." References: The Vampire Diaries Season 5 Episode 22, Home Music. TV Fanatic. Retrieved May 17, 2014. Bibel, Sarah. Thursday Final Ratings: The Big Bang Theory and Grey's Anatomy adjusted up. Rain and the Millers adjusted down. TV by the Numbers. Retrieved May 17, 2014. Ran Isla, Carrie. The Vampire Diaries, Home. The AV Club. Retrieved May 17, 2014. Searle, Rebecca. The Vampire Diaries Season 5 Finale Recap, Come Back to Me. Vulture. Retrieved May 17, 2014. Kafka, Josie. Vampire Diaries, Home. Do Reviews. Retrieved May 17, 2014. Richendahl, Matt. The Vampire Diaries Review, I Peaked. TV Fanatic. Retrieved May 17, 2014. Dominique, Ashley. The Vampire Diaries, Home Review. Geeked Out Nation. Retrieved May 17, 2014. Hall, Stephanie. The Vampire Diaries 5.22 Home Recap and Review. K-Site TV. Retrieved May 19, 2014. The Dude 35. The Vampire Diaries Review 5A, 22, a Euro Homie Euro unregistered trademark. Bitch Stole My Remote. Retrieved May 17, 2014. The Dude 35. The Vampire Diaries Review 5A, 22, a Euro Homie Euro unregistered trademark. Bitch Stole My Remote. Retrieved May 17, 2014. Sperling, Lindsay. The Vampire Diaries Season Finale Review, Home. We Got This Covered. Retrieved May 17, 2014. Jen. The Vampire Diaries 5.22 Review, Home. TV Over Mind. Retrieved May 17, 2014. External links, list of the Vampire Diaries episodes at the Internet Movie Database, AfterBuzz's discussion about Home on YouTube.